Hello and welcome to Let's Talk, the only local TV show about books, arts, ideas and events. She's illustrated 33 books and is also an author, scriptwriter, blogger, costume designer and craft expert, and a very talented Wearable Arts Awards finalist. In Auckland this week to speak at some Auckland Book Month events, the airbrush queen found time to drop in to discuss the joys and frustrations of the creative life. Hello Fifi, welcome to Auckland and from lovely Wellington, and it's great to have you here. Now, you were a freelance creative. What does a freelance creative do?
Anything.
Anything and everything.
Anything and everything, preferably if you get paid for it.
Hopefully there's money involved.
Yes. Because you've got to earn a living.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what's your main background, though, is in graphic art and design?
It is. I trained at Wellington Polytech. It's now Massey University. Went to design school, and I trained in advertising and not so much in design, but in illustration. And so illustration is where I followed the nose, really, for years. But out of that, I've ended up doing all kinds of things.
Now, illustration sounds like one of those lovely romantic things that people go to art classes and they all say to each other, wouldn't it be lovely to illustrate children's books? And they all nod at each other and have this as a dream. How hard a dream is it to fulfill?
It's a really tough one. One, you've got to know what you're doing. So some decent training, is really worthwhile. And you need to know how the illustration process goes. So for instance, if you're illustrating a book, you need to know what a publisher needs, rather than just creating a bunch of really pretty pictures that actually bear no relation to the text or wrong format for publishing, in the wrong kind of medium to be printed, all of that kind of stuff. So it's a lot of institutional knowledge that you need. And people have an idea that, sitting and illustrating is just sort of like, they've seen, the character Susan on Desperate Housewives, who's supposedly a children's book illustrator. I've never seen her do anything, and occasionally you see her with a watercolour picture of a princess or something on the kitchen table. It's so laughable, because actually it's hard slog at a drawing board or a computer. Yeah,
and in a very visual world where there's just so much blatting at us on screens all of the time, you've got to do things really differently, don't you? And you've done this recent book called Far, Far From Home, starring a gorgeous little red bug, and I've never seen a bug look like that before in my whole life. And so how hard is it to get something that's really, really different?
Well, when I came to doing this book, because I'd illustrated an Anzac book, The Red Poppy, and after World War I was quite keen to do something a little more light-hearted. Yes. And Elizabeth Pulford's script came through, and because it's a book for younger children, it needed to have a cute bug, and it's obviously a firefly, and fireflies are actually quite disgusting looking, except that they've got this wonderful glow. So I needed to do it as a lovely little character, which I'm not a cartoonist by trade at all, so that was quite a stretch for me. Very different style from anything I've done before. And then I thought, how am I going to do it so it glows, literally glows out of the book and is luminous? So I decided to do the work pretty much all digitally. So this book is rendered in Photoshop.
Okay, so is this being published in New Zealand and Australia?
In New Zealand, and it will be in Australia. Scholastic are the publishers, and they're fantastic.
So there's no problem with having a firefly when we don't have any fireflies in our environment? That was not a problem for them?
No, I don't think so. And and it's, it frees it open to the rest of the world too. So have America and Canada, and Scholastic do sell into those countries. Then they're going to be very familiar with fireflies.
This one's got a sort of a digital kind of very modern look, but the Red Poppy, this other beautiful book you've done with an Anzac sort of theme, this looks like hand paintings. Are they hand paintings? Or?
They are. There's a little bit of a mixture. Basically, they are hand painted. They're done in pastel, also oil colour. So I've used a bit of oil colour wash underneath, and then I've used chalk pastel, French chalk pastel over the top. So they're actually quite large pieces of work, and
big
I did them on a
illustrations.
drawing
So
board.
how long did it take you to do all of the pictures for this lovely book?
About 5 to 6 months.
Wow.
So there was a lot of research that went on into uniforms in particular to get those pieces right.
Because the RSA blokes would be down upon you in a flash, no doubt, if they're not right.
Because there's always somebody who'll look through it and go then and wear that kind of, you know, button or collar badge or
so it's
something.
got to be right.
It absolutely has to be right. David Hill is the author, and he provides such a wonderful story that it was a joy to do. And
he's so prolific and clever, David Hill, isn't he? Gosh, he's good.
He is. And I also put a little bit of digital touches in there too. So, for instance, I grew red poppies. That was a whole mission, because I'm no gardener, Lindsay, at all.
And you grew actual red poppies.
I grew actual red poppies. It took me about 3 goes before the poppy season was completely over. And then I photographed them, and I put those little digital touches in. So in the book, you'll see poppies drawn, and then you'll go, but that looks like a real one, and it is a real one. It's just put in with Photoshop.
And this is on show somewhere, did you say, at the moment?
Yes, at the National Library down in Stanley Street in Auckland. And we've got a display called What Lies Beneath as part of New Zealand Book Month. And I've got a case full of drawings, the original drawings, and some of my reference and research and little bits of ephemera, as do other illustrators with their other books as well.
Now, this of course is all on flat, but you're a 3-dimensional girl as well, aren't you? Because for years now you've been entering the Wearable Arts Awards, and I know that you've won some highly commendeds and things. Still waiting for the big one.
Yes. Still
and you're going to have another go this year?
I am indeed. I'm going to have a go. And, you know, last year I didn't get in. I've been doing this for 18 years, and last year I didn't get in. So I've realised that for years I've said to people, it's not about whether you get in or not, it's the process. And I realised I've been quite patronising for a very, very long time. But it was a good lesson to me. It really was.
You've got to do it. You've got to do it really, really well.
Absolutely. And I hadn't pulled out all the stops last year, and I did it in a hurry. And it was. I had it in my head that was just a bra, and that's what it was. It was just a bra. It wasn't a particularly special one. So this year I'm going for break.
You're going for the big deal once again.
I am.
It is such a wonderful New Zealand institution, isn't it? And there's an exhibition on at the Auckland Museum at the moment. With does it have one of your costumes in it?
Yes, it's the off-the-wall exhibition, and it's a touring exhibition around New Zealand, and fabulous because you can see the costumes up close. And I've got 2 pieces in it. Lady Curiosity, which is a Victorian sort of tattooed woman, a very sort of carnival sort of feel to it, and Persephone in Cuba Street, which is a UV section piece which lights up under black light. Yes, I feel very honoured to have those. WOW have got those in their permanent collection, so that's part of the permanent collection touring.
So, and I guess it's really hard work, often working with very weird materials, putting those together. Lots of pricked fingers with needle sticks and things, no doubt. But all of that hard physical and emotional effort has gone into yet another book, hasn't it? We can't show people because all you have is galley proofs here.
Yes,
but so tell us about this book.
This is Scholastic, my publishers, who I've worked with for a very long time, came to me and said, we know what your next book is going to be. And I said, well, that's great, because I have no idea. You know, it's one of the 2 unfinished novels, long unfinished ones. And they said, we'd like you to do a book on wearable art, and for children, students, and the teachers will find it incredibly useful too. So what it is rather than a book about previously made wearable art or the history of wearable art and those sorts of things, it's about, or even say how to make a dragon costume. It's about seeing the dragon in the world around you, and how to brainstorm for ideas, how to work with budgets, where to source materials from, using your recyclables, and repurposing things, and then all those construction techniques, so that a kid can go away, they can dream up this idea, and then they've got an idea of where to start. And it's an 88-page full colour book, and it's going to be beautiful.
So it's not about entering the Wearable Arts Awards, because I gather children or anyone under 18 can't enter. It's just more about general costume making, is it?
Costume making, and a lot of schools have wearable arts units now. So in the part of their technology unit.
But it very much comes with the sort of blessing of the wearable arts people. As I see that Dame Susie Moncrief has given you a plug on your back cover.
She has. They've been very supportive of the book, as has Richard and Tanya Taylor too from Winter Workshop. So
important, just briefly now, for kids to be making stuff in 3 dimensions, isn't it? Not just working with the computer and the mouse the whole time.
You know what it is? It's the tactile thing. There's something about handling things, and it's motor skills, and it's engineering, and it's brainstorming. It's using your brain in a different way, which is why I like doing wearable art, because I do flat stuff, computer screen drawing board. When I do wearable art, I have to think in a completely different way. It's a spatial awareness thing, and that's really important for kids.
Excellent stuff. Lovely to have you here, and good luck with all of your future wearable art entries.
Thank you.
I'll keep an eye out.
Okay.